Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hello Future Buzz. It's February 2nd, 2023. Our guests today, we have with us Koala Klub and Rob Allen from the HBAR Foundation. We also are expecting Kabila. Oh, Kabila's here already. Hello. And we have Lance and Binks, and Charles is going to join us shortly. So really excited about today's talk. So let's get to it. I'd like to introduce the community to Rob Allen, who is the Sustainable Impact Fund person in the HBAR Foundation, and he is in Australia. And we also have Koala Klub, which is, as we know in our community, a great community member and great NFT provider for us, and also working in real life to try to get koala sanctuary in Australia. So I thought it'd be nice to have Rob on and see what Koala Klub and Rob are doing together to make that dream a reality of having in real life sanctuaries for koalas, which is so nice, and it's such a great endeavor. And Koala Klub is very philanthropic in their project also, and they're always doing things for nonprofits, and so we're really excited to hear what their good news is. We also have Kabila App on, and Kabila App is a platform that I think the community is familiar with, but let's see what they have in their news. And they're in Europe, and I believe Portugal. I'm not sure. Is that right?
Hey Elizabeth, good to see you, and hello to everyone here. Yeah, well, actually, we're based very close in Spain, but yeah, working with a lot of creators here in Spain and Portugal. Same time zone.
Okay. Well,
No worries, no
and
worries.
in general, what I really like about your project is that you're reaching out to the Spanish-speaking community, and we have some other community members that are doing that, Slim Gringo and some others, the Rooster Cartel, and the Spanish-speaking community is so important to our ecosystem to be inclusive with that goal of having different languages and different global entities using the Hedera ecosystem. So we'll get into your project, but first I'd like to say hello to Rob. How are you?
Hey Elizabeth, hello everyone from the land down under. Great to be with you today.
Thank you so much. And we'll talk to Koala Klub and say hello.
What's up? Thank you, Hello Future, for putting this together, and very excited to be here and talk more about the Koala Sanctuary. But yeah, I'm Buck representing Koala Klub today. So yeah.
Oh, hi Buck. Okay, it's Buck. I didn't know who would be coming. And then I also just want to say hello to HederaDev because he did such a great thing with creating and a chatbot. So hi Hedera Milan.
Yes. Hey, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm glad to be here. So yeah, my name is Milan HederaDev. Yeah, and you said it right. I've created a Hedera biased AI chatbot for a Telegram group. Happy to speak about that.
Definitely. Well, why don't we start with you, Rob? And can you catch us up with what's going on in the Sustainable Impact Fund?
I can indeed. A couple of corrections. Wes Geisenberger leads the Sustainable Impact Fund. My role is kind of in support of him as SVP of the HBAR Foundation. I kind of have a number of hats, and Wes is a mission-focused force of nature, and the rest of us just try and keep up with his kind of mission to save the planet using Hedera and our open source Guardian technology. But in doing that, we with Hanya and Jonathan and some of the world's developer advocates like Serge and Justin, we kind of all pushing forward on sustainable impact. You'll have seen a lot of the stuff that came out of Davos. We're actually in the middle of a 5-day blog update, so I encourage you to go and have a look at the blog's entitled The Sustainable Impact Fund Investment Thesis, which is kind of an updated view of the 5 main goals of the fund. So I won't kind of repeat them here. But I was on a Twitter Spaces yesterday with Brandon, and kind of we were talking about the year 2. So we've done some amazing stuff in that first year, kind of building out the ecosystem, bringing partners in, creating all this fantastic open source methodologies for projects to onboard them quickly, accessing liquidity and getting financing into those projects, and then tokenizing the project data so that it can be equitably brought to new next generation marketplaces, which we're also creating. And then matching supply and demand with this kind of AI-driven automated market maker. So all of that is in place now and live, and we're seeing the impact on mainnet. Year 2 is going to be about expanding that. It's going to be about putting more projects on, bringing more project developers into the fold, so that the full range of sustainability projects, from reforestation to renewable energy projects, kind of mangroves, peatland, and all of the biodiversity impacts as well, because focusing on carbon just has carbon credits, but pretty much all of these projects also have co-benefits in terms of sustainable development. And that could be habitat renewal, it could be social, positive social impact, it can be water related. So this year we're going to expand into all of those things as well, and things like the species protection, rewilding, some of the fantastic collectibles that the likes of the Perini Foundation and Aniseed are producing as well, are all related to that. So we can track the impact of approaching all of these projects in a kind of Web3 way. And Koala Klub is one of those. They're doing some great things. We're very appreciative of in Australia of any of the rest of the world supporting our huge range of very unique flora and fauna. We have koala sanctuaries, dotted up and down the country, and obviously they all need support. Post the bushfires 4 years ago, the populations were heavily impacted, and they already were through human interaction and urban growth and sprawl. So the koalas are a unique and iconic animals, and where better to start here in Australia. In distributed ledger land, we know no boundaries. But I am director of an organisation called Blockchain Australia, and that's an industry association that's been around for a number of years. I was deputy chairman a few years ago when we merged a few organisations to form it. And I stepped down and to focus on all my Hedera-related businesses and activities. But we're facing, the world is facing regulatory headwinds and uncertainty, and there's a need for clarity from the SEC and jurisdictions around the world. So I was asked to rejoin to help the debate, the education, and hopefully the implementation of clear legislation here in Australia. So that's the reason I'm there. But we're here to talk about those beautiful koalas. I do, that's for sure.
You definitely do. I will say this, Rob, and this is credit to you. I think your passion for sustainability issues comes through in a lot of your posts. And I know you wear a lot of hats, but it's almost easy to think that that's the only hat you're wearing based on some of the posts that you do on Twitter and on LinkedIn and some of the spaces that you join that are sustainability focused. So it's great to see that passion come through and see it paired up so nicely with, everything that the Hedera network has to offer, and the great greenness and sustainability of our network.
Yeah, thanks, Lance. It is true when you're passionate about something, it's not a job. And I've been the reason people call me Sharky is because I've been a shark conservationist for 25 years and shark photographer. So I'm a marine conservationist through and through, and anything to do with the natural world I've always been passionate about. And one of the reasons for being attracted to Hedera was its green credentials. We didn't really know back in 2017 that it was such a big deal. We knew that the the genius of Lehman's invention was super efficient. But this really makes this is a differentiator for the network, and I'm actually really proud. Whenever I'm talking to people, I was at 𝓒𝓱𝓪𝓻𝓵, which is kind of an iconic institution here in Australia, based in Sydney. And 𝓒𝓱𝓪𝓻 do a lot of research, but they're also doing wildlife forensics, trying to tackle nature crime with trafficking of endangered species. And we had a really, really good conversation just the other day on how Hedera could be applied to that. We all know that supply chain is one of our great strengths. We've seen what's happening on the mainnet with TPS and those use cases. It's very easy to apply that through to wildlife tracking, because it's kind of the same use case. And then, of course, they're doing, well, not of course, but they are doing some really interesting kind of photographic DNA tagging and checking, which is non-invasive, which is very similar to what Starling are doing. Starling with Reuters a couple of years ago, sort of provenance of photography, trust of data, geotagged and time-stamped imagery. It's just the same. So I'm in a really, really good position because I have this purview across the Hedera ecosystem, and being able to bring together the learnings from other sectors which otherwise wouldn't be combined is one of my great joys as an engineer, being able to do that.
Awesome.
And so I'll pause there and let the other guys talk.
Sure. There really isn't.
I'll take up the whole hour.
There really isn't a shortage of use cases to bring trust and transparency into business dealings or nonprofits or all the other ways you can bring those in. So it's really exciting to see. I love that you're bringing those across. I did have one question, and before I say that, I just want to say huge congratulations to everything that we saw out of Davos. I don't think that week or whatever that was, week to 10 days, could have gone any better from everything I've heard. And from the community, that was so amazing to see. But you did mention marketplaces, and I just wanted to ask, I realize there's a lot of different networks that are getting involved in tokenized carbon credits or other ESG programs or bringing trust or transparency to ESG applications. Were the marketplaces that you're speaking of going to be Hedera specific? Or is Hedera getting involved in some cross-chain? I'm seeing that a lot in NFTs right now, where marketplaces are going multi-chain, and they're exposing sources of liquidity to more options. I'm curious if we're starting to get into that same sort of a mindset with the carbon offset market. Yeah,
absolutely. There's a recognition that there won't be one chain to rule them all. Everyone in Web3 kind of recognized that. I'm personally of the belief that over time, all if not most solutions will gravitate to the best network, and of course, I believe that to be Hedera for many reasons. So, but if you look back over time, all the walled gardens in technology failed. The early days of the internet with CompuServe, or the restrictive practices of silos online just didn't work. They withered and failed. And it was only when the walls were broken down that we had the opportunity to scale. Same thing happened in mobile payment networks. The days when you couldn't send a text message to another network, only within the same network. You can't even imagine that now. So I think we're going to have the same thing with technical infrastructure for Web3. And then, as you say, liquidity is really important, and liquidity will flow to the projects where the users need it to go, and the quality projects. So we need to set up the bridges, which we've now got. So we've got Hashport doing kind of cross-chain for tokens to EVMs and other chains. We've obviously got some amazing dexes in our ecosystem as well. And then in sustainability in particular, all of the same thing applies. You know, there are lots of people on this planet who want to help save the planet from their own perspectives, and we're all, you know, in this together. We're all trying to. We've all got those sort of same value alignments. We're just using different tools. So we took a very clear decision quite early on that we should embrace that. We should allow for that, you know, to be encouraged, and then build the bridges to enable the liquidity to flow to better chains like ours. But the challenge, of course, is that, as we keep saying, having a carbon neutral or carbon negative network such as Hedera is necessary to truly take these sustainability solutions to the market, because otherwise you're carrying a lot of carbon debt just in terms of the operation of the network, which, if you were to you know, truly address that or want to be a sustainability solution, you need to offset your own operation before you offer it to, you know, the outside world, which they tend not to do. So there's a lot of greenwashing going on in this space on other chains. There's a lot of really good ideas with well-meaning founders who have just got the wrong tools, and you know, we're encouraging them. We through Davos, through COP27, and COP15 in Montreal, we're having these conversations, and as more and more of these projects and technology providers become aware of what we're doing and the fact that we're open sourcing it all. You know, this is a commercially minded but non-commercial venture within the Guardian ecosystem, because from a foundation perspective, because we need to have all of this infrastructure in place. Then the partners, you know, the likes of Evercity, like Flow Carbon, Solid World DAO, they've all come across from other chains. Or in the case of Solid World DAO, they're offering and creating the cross-chain liquidity that enables us to tap into all of the you know, the other chain liquidity as well. So this is really important. You can't build a silo and with the best technology and expect everyone to join. You have to be open and embrace the other parties who are trying to do the same thing, but ultimately, I think we'll end up on Hedera.
Love that response. Thanks.
Yeah, I think interoperability is key, and I'm always thinking of Lehman's Harvard video in 2017, where he said there'll be a shakeup of different projects going south, and then there'll be a handful of good networks left standing, and we'll all work together. There won't just be one; there will be a handful, and we have to all work together in order to succeed.
Yeah, and there's some really good stuff coming out of the other chains, of course, you know, sort of soul-bound tokens as an example, or, you know, zero knowledge proofs. I mean, these are all you know, very, very bright people thinking about really important problems to solve, which we can benefit from as well. And you know, we haven't solved everything all at once. It's a journey, and we're still early. So you know, I encourage you know, the open source movement. I encourage innovation with all technology, and then if you're open-minded enough, then you move with the tools that are developing, you know, in the way that you need them to develop. I mean, I used to be a coder. I was I'm a very rusty coder now, but you know, my technology refresh was every year, every 18 months. You know, if you're a Microsoft developer, then you had to kind of retool your skills, your programming languages every couple of years. So same thing applies here. It's just accelerating even faster now.
Yeah, it does, and it really, you in technology, you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep learning. There's no standing still in a skill set. And I brought Patches up here, and he's one of our premier developers in the Hedera ecosystem, and he certainly does keep innovating, don't you, Patches?
I try.
So, Koala Klub, tell us what you've been up to. This January has been a very exciting month for you, with having Ant Middleton be your official ambassador. I think that happened in December. Tell us what all your news is.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so we just got through the first month of 2023. We're currently working on, like you mentioned, with Ant Middleton and Rob Allen to get in the right direction with the sanctuaries. That's pretty much our main focus outside of, making art and NFTs. So we're currently working on our play to earn game, which, working on our play to earn game with the gaming studio. And we just had an awesome meeting this morning with them to get things in production of phase 1. But yeah, so I just want to take the time to explain a little bit on the backstory of Koala Klub, because I know there might be some people in here that don't know anything about us. So yeah, when we decided to start Koala Klub, like, we wanted to make it more than just an NFT project. That's literally part of our mission statement, to make the world a better place through the power of NFTs. Ultimately, we wanted to start a project that was mostly community centric and help, give back somehow. Because when you're one person trying to make an impact, it's very hard. It's very hard. So we decided to create the project based around koalas, just based off the fact of the 2019 wildfires that Rob mentioned earlier, where it was devastating. Even beforehand with human poaching and all that craziness. So we wanted to create our own sanctuary if it was possible. I just put a tweet about it yesterday. It was like 1 year ago, which was funny. It was I just looked at my camera roll, and oh, here it is.
Buck, I've got a tweet up for you.
Awesome, thank you, I appreciate it. And I found that tweet last night, and I just thought that was it. Just spoke for itself. So once we started researching and looking into it, we quickly found it was like very impossible to start our own sanctuary. Like, it is very costly. So we wanted to look into partnering and establishing with koala sanctuaries in Australia. And we started to talk with Ant Middleton because of a community member around, I want to say, like August, September. Then we started really getting in production of the direction where we wanted to go. So we wanted to, like, it was just, it just fell perfectly with Ant being connected in Australia, because that was like a huge reason we connected so well, since Ant is just, he loves to give back. So we got connected with Rob. Thank you, Elizabeth, for making that connection. He really just was a helping hand and was able to make connections as well while Ant's busy filming in Malaysia, doing his shows and doing live. And Rob's really taking a big step in helping us get in that right direction. But yeah, I could go on and on and on, but there's my little spill of how passionate we are about the koala sanctuaries.
I know when I saw your tweet about a year ago, it really does give you a sense of pause in life, like you were just talking to somebody about what you kind of wanted to do and what you really liked. And then a year later to be, with Ant Middleton and actually having donated funds to koalas, and now your game development. And it must be helpful having Rob be your feet on the ground there in Australia, because you're in the United States, and it is nice to have somebody in the country to help speak with you.
Yeah, 100%. Like, Rob's really been a lifesaver, because, like you said, we're in the States. So having someone who's in Australia, where Australia's big but it's also small at the same time, definitely helps with our roadmap and our vision where we want to go to.
Sorry, Elizabeth, go on.
No, go ahead, Rob.
I was just going to say, so we talk quite a lot now, and Ant is very engaged. He's incredible, actually. He has a very clear vision of what needs to be done here in Australia. He's British, but he's passionate about Australia, and he's hired by one of the major channels here for a range of reasons. And for those who have listened to him on the previous spaces, he's been in the NFT space. His brother kind of brought him in. He's made investments over time, and so he kind of knows his stuff. And these things came together for him, and it's an honor really to be working with someone with such a positive outlook on life, and with a focus on doing good. So yeah, I think engaging Ants was a masterstroke by the Koala team, the Koala Klub team, and I'm just, like you say, boots on the ground, so I can make the connections through my conservation network. I've got there's a whole bunch of sanctuaries that are candidates. We've got one that we really like, and are doing some amazing stuff. But it is a network, and they're all trying to do the right thing. There's obviously genetic considerations as well. So breeding programs, they kind of cross fertilize, as it were, and then Ant and the Koala Klub guys have a far greater vision. Buck's quite humble there, but I love the vision of all this kind of interconnected, I hesitate to say metaverse, but sort of online Web3 activity, or where the NFTs are at the heart of it, and the positive impact that can create. Of course, Hedera technology with the super low costs and the ability to kind of align royalties and ongoing benefits to transactions and interactions with these tokens, kind of gives itself to charitable giving, and small and large amounts. So we've just got to align that with the Koala network here, and then just stand back and watch it flourish. And I'm super excited to do that. And it's going to be out here in a couple of months, so we're kind of lining up a whole kind of media blitz and PR campaign around him being here. We'll get the Koala Klub guys down as well. Blade Wallet, I think, are involved, so they're offering some support. So yeah, we're kind of engaging the community properly, and there'll be a big splash in a few months' time, just immediately prior to the next drop, I think. So we've got to get the timing right.
Oh wow, that's amazing news. That's just so great. And it was a year ago actually that Lehman was on Spaces here and talking about charitable giving in smart contracts, and how the royalties can be split. So for the Hedera Hackathon last year, my team did a smart contract with automatic monthly giving. So it really comes from the ethos of Hedera, the charitable giving, and Lehman's vision, and hearing about your passion, Rob. And it's just the truthfulness comes through when people are honestly passionate. You can't fake that kind of stuff, and I think that so many people that are building in the Hedera ecosystem have that genuine desire to help make the world a little bit better. And I think that's why our ecosystem is going to, the tech is great, we all know that, and finality and seconds and all the technical stuff, but without the ethos of just caring about becoming a crypto millionaire, or stuff like that, it's like so that's what I love about Turtle Moon. Turtle with a moon, it's like just slow and steady building. And
But the tone was set really from day one by Mance and Lehman, and through all those early days, with all the kind of craziness going on Telegram and the early forming of the community, that steady, grown-up, professional, value-driven approach was the North Star, I think, for the whole of Hedera community, and it's still there. That North Star is still there, and we still hold to it. And the core of the community, wouldn't have it any other way. And I think it's a unique thing in this space as well, which I'm also very proud of.
Yeah, I think that in essence is the Hedera community, that we're proud to be in the community because of the ethos and because of Lehman's vision and the way that he and Mance are conducting themselves. And yes, Binks, you wanted to say something?
Oh, I just wanted to say to Koala Klub, it's just really cool to see how far you guys have come. I remember when you guys first joined the Hedera ecosystem way back in 21, and I know that, raising funds and providing donating profits to like koala habitats was always in your vision, and to see that come to life with the sanctuary, like almost like, what is it, like a year and a half later, and seeing that you guys have really stuck to that is really cool. So big congratulations to you guys on that accomplishment.
Yeah, thank you, Binks, for those words. Yeah, it's truly, I mean, it's just what we're passionate about. Rob mentioned it earlier, when you're passionate about something, it's not work. So we just it's something we want to stick to since day one. And I'm just happy that, we were able to make it happen. And yeah, so thank you.
Absolutely. And it's well deserved. And the thing I love about the community is that, a lot of us have been here for quite a while, and we do support each other. And there is a collaborative effort in our desires, and it's, collaboration more than competition. And those are more than words in the Hedera community. Those are actually what we truly believe. So I'm so proud of you. And yeah, we can't wait to see all the great things that are coming with the Koala Klub. And really, thank you so much, Rob, for joining us here and helping Koala Klub on the ground in Australia. It's really important. And it means a lot to the community to have the support of the HBAR Foundation in a nascent community-grown project. I can't tell you how energizing the community is when we get recognition from any of the funding sources, or even Hedera itself, or Swirls, and when Mance and Lehman interact with the community online, and just today with the Discord being revamped. I think there's a real change in the ecosystem, looking at the community more. And there's a network effect where the concept of network effect is that the project needs the community and the community needs the project. And I think the year of 2023 is that's really being brought to life. So I'm really happy about that. So I know that we have a couple new speakers. We have Dead Pixels, yay, and HANGRY, hello. And if anybody wants to join in on the conversation, go right ahead. But we'll switch gears a little bit. Oh, HANGRY, did you want to speak?
I just wanted to say hi, and happy to be here, and congrats to Koala Klub for growing and growing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Do you want to say hello, Dead Pixels?
Yeah, same here. This is Will on the account. Congrats to Koala Klub, a lot of exciting stuff, and just wanted to say hi. I usually miss some of your spaces, Hello Future Buzz, from my time zone on this side of the world. So it's always fun when I do get to sneak one in.
What time zone are you in, Will?
I'm in Central Australia time. I moved out here recently.
Well, we're going to be starting one spaces a month for the Asia market, and then one spaces a month for the European market, because our ecosystem is growing.
Yeah.
It's really important, and I appreciate you guys coming from Australia. I know it's late there, and I see.
Well, so Ray and Raph are actually in the U.S., so I'm going to have to nudge them to jump on these more often. but I'm usually the spaces guy. But yeah, no, it's always fun when I do them. I am able to catch them, and excited to hear you'll be doing an Asian market space. Hopefully I'll see you a lot more on those ones.
Yes, our first guest is going to be Blade Wallet, and very excited for them to come on this month, probably later this month. And we'll do it regularly. I think probably the first Tuesday of every month, starting in March.
I just want to shout out Ray, if you're listening, because I can see you down there. Attend these spaces more.
Now, who is that, Patches?
Ray is listening. I love Dead Pixels calling him out for not attending, and he's down there.
Poke at him.
Ray actually listens to a lot of these from his day job. So he's probably going to get in trouble if he starts actually talking on them. But he's usually a listener and he loves them. He actually pings me sometimes when he actually I noticed this because he sent a screenshot in our Discord. So I quickly jumped on as soon as I woke up. But yeah, he enjoys listening, but a lot of times he can't actually jump up and speak while he's at work.
Well, I appreciate you coming, and it's always nice to see a Dead Pixels around. You've got the best flying Dead Pixels of everything. I was trying to think what was my one of my best moments in 2022 the other day, and I thought when Christian Hasker put that photograph up of the governing council, the room with just the chairs, and then the viral NFT community just started putting all their images on the chairs. I mean, that was just hysterical, and it was just such a, you can't fake viral. I mean, one person started and another person put their PFP in and said, I'm sorry I'm late. It was just like a great time. I think that's got to be one of the highlights of 2022. But okay, let's switch gears a little bit and let Manu from Kabila App give us an update on how. I know you're doing such great work, Manu, and let us know what's going on.
Hey, Elizabeth, thank you so much, and hi to everyone. It's good to see so many faces that have been around for the last 2 years. So we keep building even in these days. That the market gets a bit boring and stuff, but here we are discussing a lot of stuff that it's going to change the way we build the new internet. So we are now, I think taking some rest because with the Launchpad release last week, it's like the last tool that we had in mind when we started all this journey 8 months ago. So the whole team is like, we were speaking and okay, everyone, please take some days. They just took one day, and then they all got back to work. We are all, we enjoy a lot building in Hedera. We are creating the tools that we wanted to have as creators, and yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time, a lot of weekends. But at the end of the day, when we see creators thanking us and being happy that they have managed to create, launch, and send their collections by themselves, that feels so good. And yeah, there's a lot of things going on for this year. So many stuff that we would like to have. And right now we are also working with some companies here in Spain. Some of them also work in Latam. And there's almost no, there's not much people in the Spanish-speaking ecosystem that knows about Hedera, or maybe they know more on they buy HBAR, but there are not so many people building on top of Hedera. And this is something that we would like to change. We are also speaking with these creators to try to find a way to connect, to start to work together, to share documentation, ideas. So yeah, I know a lot of stuff going on, and yeah, and very excited for what's to come this year. Now with Hedera being the first network in transactions per second, I mean we cannot go unnoticed for much more time. I think there will be a time that everyone notices that this is one of the great places to be. So yeah, next week we will have a big announcement. We're very excited about that, and yeah, just keep building.
Let me just ask you though, Manu. So Can you just briefly? I know that your app is being well received by the community, but for those who don't know, just give us like 2 or 3 things that you've made it easy for the community to accomplish.
Yeah, so we were creating the tools that for example, we have like NFT creation, IPFS uploader. So, for example, it wasn't easy for NFT creators to, for example, divide what is the NFT metadata that you upload to IPFS, and work with feed links, which is for us, the easiest way to manage a lot of amounts of data. There, for example, we have the bulk sender, which is a tool to send hundreds or thousands of NFTs with a CSV file. We also worked on a do-it-yourself launchpad. So right now, creators can just they don't have to ask anything. It's kind of like a Shopify for NFTs, so they can just go ahead and create the launchpad, design the launchpad, define pre-sale and public details. We also worked on dynamic lists, so you can just define, okay, give me a list with all the accounts that have more than 3 NFTs of this account and are not listed in any marketplaces. The art engine, so you can generate the art, upload the images, order the layers, define rarities. So I mean, we're just building the tools that we wanted to have as creators, and yeah, it's been a lot of work. We haven't started kind of the making the marketing efforts, so because we were just focusing on building the product, and now we will be trying to be more active in the community. We'll be trying to make bring awareness to what we've been working on for the last month. So yeah, I would say that's pretty much it.
Wow, that's that's a lot, Manu.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of weekends.
Yes, HederaDev.
Hey, hey, Manu, this is Milan.
Milan.
This is so. It makes me so happy to hear this. What all the stuff that you're doing, and I see the great strides you're making with your team, and it's really, I'm really enjoying it because we've met before the first NFT you've minted, right? And I was manually doing that through GoMint, when I was working with GoMint, still do. So it's really exciting. I just want to share that, very exciting to hear how everything is going for you and just the whole journey. That was only end of 2021, something like that. So
yeah,
congratulations.
I believe that.
Very good thing.
I think this network has changed my entire life, and I think for all of the people that we are here, I mean, one day you started researching about Hedera. Oh, this looks interesting. It's very sustainable. Oh, this fast. Oh, governing council makes sense. Oh, and then we're all here. And yeah, I think if it's like the place to be. So yeah, very excited about that. I'm very excited to see all of you. 2 years after we started with the first NFTs and GoMint, and yeah, we will see what happens in the next 2 years.
Absolutely, wonderful.
Yeah, man.
I definitely think the crypto winter is thawing, and that we had a great opportunity during the crypto winter to keep our heads down and build relationships, and I'm actually grateful for it because it gave us a breathing space and time to think. So I think it's wonderful. Thank you so much, Manu, and we look forward to seeing all the innovation that comes, and you've made some great tools for us, so we really appreciate it.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you. HederaDev, why don't you tell us a little bit, like, why did you want to make this bot and how it all came about? And it seems like it happened fairly quickly.
Yeah, thank you, Elizabeth. And I just want to say what a wonderful spaces you're organizing. And I mean, it's often late for me in Europe, but I'm happy to hear that there will be European spaces. Yeah, so it did went quite quickly, but that's a little bit my issue. When I get an idea, I can't stop building until it's finished. So that's kind of making me not sleep at night. Yeah, first, if I go in there, just a little bit of background. I've been here in space for about 2 years. Mainly been did everything around community, part of the Telegram groups, People know me from Earthlinks as a team member. I've created a website early days where people could, where I collected all resources, where people could find more about Hedera. And HBAR Vox I created. It's like a decentralized voice of the community, so people can send memos and then it will get tweeted. And then and lately I've been really diving into no coding. So no coding is basically, I can't code. I don't know how to write JavaScript and all that stuff. I tried, but it's impossible for me. So thanks to Matt Smithies from Dovu. He created an API for Hedera. I don't know really how to explain it, but it allows you to communicate in a very easy way with the Hedera network. And that's so that allowed me to plug that into no coding. No coding is kind of like visually coding. I think it's quite easy. And then the issue came from okay, how can I get back my sleep, because now I want to build so much stuff that I can't sleep anymore. So I built HBAR Vox. That's completely built with no coding. So you send a memo, and then if your memo gets tweeted, then you also get an NFT of that same memo. You get back in your wallet within the minutes or something like that. So all that's built with no coding. And also now we're getting at the Telegram bot. The Telegram bot is also built without any coding. So what did I do? So I pinned one of the things, I believe, up here in the spaces. Everybody knows about ChatGPT. That's version 4 that created a lot of excitement all over the internet. Now, ChatGPT 4 is not available to use as an API, so to build in my no coding solution, but the previous version is. So I thought, okay, well, let's try to make things more interesting in our Telegram group, which is called the HBAR Lounge, and Sharky Rob knows it also very well, and some people here as well. So let's make it very interesting. Everybody is welcome to join, by the way. Let's make it interesting. So I had this bot, and you could send commands, and it will just give always a standard reply or a random reply. And I thought, no, I want to make it an AI. So I plugged in OpenAI into the Telegram bot. And then first, people asked questions, and it was like, okay, it gives a standard answer. It's not very exciting. And I thought, no, I have to train it. So I gave it context. And I made it very biased towards Hedera. So once somebody sends a message on Telegram to that bot, it tags the bot, then that message gets sent to the OpenAI server. But there's also context included with it. So I'll give a few examples. What I say, you are an AI bot called Butler. That's his name. The Telegram group you are residing is the HBAR Lounge. All your answers are biased of being positive towards Hedera and HBAR. Guy from Coin Bureau is a fraud. All that stuff. So you give a lot of context, and that allows even I added context. You're not a financial advisor. So if you ask a question, you get the weirdest responses, but it's so biased towards Hedera. So you get, I think one of the messages somebody asked was, all right, Butler, who is the hottest, Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera? And then Butler replies, I'm not sure I'm qualified to answer this question, but I can tell you that Hedera is the hottest ABFT network out there. So yeah, you get the picture, right? So and you just, it's every time it's cracking me up because you're getting answers that you don't expect.
I thought it was going to answer Lehman Baird.
Yeah, I should have given the context. Then I could say the hottest man on earth is Lehman Baird, and it would say so. Rob, I think if you raise your hand.
Yeah, thanks. I've got to tell everyone, Milan is my new favorite member of the community. I've got lots of good community members, but the stuff we're doing on no code is just incredible. We vicariously through Milan are creating all these widgets for some of these amazing no code platforms like Make, N8, was it N8N?
Right.
Zapier,
Yeah.
which will take the use of Hedera to the next level. In the same way as the no-code movement has kind of abstracted away from the the detail of coding APIs and made it far more business friendly, so that every small and medium-sized business that's developing web apps and considering building their process flows, this will enable them to do all the great things that we know that Hedera can do. So, I mean, simple example is interaction with the Hedera consensus service. You just drop this visual widget into your N8N flow, and all of a sudden you've got this interaction with Hedera. This is a game changer. I mean, I don't think people realize quite how important it is to taking it forward. If you look at any of the stuff that ServiceNow is doing, ServiceNow is this corporate enterprise, large scale business flow platform, which is integrated with Hedera, obviously. This takes it down to the small and medium-sized business layer. So you can do all the things that ServiceNow is preaching correctly at that level. And Milan is kind of is also humble, but he has had this vision, and we're very, very supportive. So I'm super excited to see how this goes. The other thing about Milan is that he keeps bees, which makes him one of the most important people on the planet.
Yeah, thank you so much for those kind words, Rob. And Rob, that really that makes me really happy. Yeah, I admit I am humble in stuff. Yeah, and you're completely right. I mean, but the no coding part, I mean, I've been I've even made diagrams to explain, okay, this is going to be mind blowing. People don't grasp how important this is going to be, and Rob is giving the example of Make.com or Zapier. I've created, just as an example to show how easy it is, I've created an integration for Zapier, and you could just use it. Everybody here knows probably Zapier is for me is like it's a very easy solution that everybody can use. Okay, if I get an email, then do that. So if I get an email, then create send a memo to a topic ID or their consensus service. Or if something happens, then create an NFT. And I created that integration for Zapier just to show, okay, I've built this like in a day, and now you can integrate on Zapier. That kind of there's no other network that is even possible to do that. No. And obviously Rob is explaining it very well, because I like to complicate things. I like to build a Twitter bot that then tweets and make an NFT and sends a fungible token back to yourself and all that stuff. But yeah, Rob said it very nicely, and I absolutely agree that no coding is going to bring so many people within the ecosystem. And my last few words. There's a lot more I want to say, would like to say, but I'll keep it short. And also, because it's so important, so many people I see here, I just know by name and by face. You are all part of this group of intrinsic motivated people. If something is so strong, it's intrinsic motivation. And, all of you are, most of you, I think, are not developers. You're not able to write some code and create on Hedera. So your strongest point is part of community. But imagine that you can actually build on Hedera through no coding, through visually dragging lines. If this happens, then do that. I mean, then you get an explosion. Then you get everyone here, the 50 people I see, you will have no night to sleep anymore, because you get so excited that you can this new world open up for you. So yeah, that's very enthusiastic rant.
Milan, I'm kind of with you. I can't sleep anymore either. I can't sleep more than like 3 hours a day. I just am. And when I go to sleep, I'm like, well, I could think of this. I could think of that. I could think of this. And then I just say, oh, forget it. I'll just get up and go back to my computer. It's terrible.
Yeah, I know.
So one of the things that I want to do is sponsor a no-codathon. So a hackathon for no coders. And I'm working with Milan to kind of create a whole bunch of templates as kind of starter packs, but anything can happen from there. And hackathon's kind of a bit elitist. You need to have the coding skills, but a no codathon would be for everybody. And the amazing things that could be developed out of that would be amazing to see. So watch this space, because we'll be pushing that over the next few months, I think.
Absolutely, and your only limit is your imagination.
Well, that's going to it really will be a game changer, because many people. I've been a technology consultant for 20 years, and a lot of people, they have to come to a person like me, or a developer, because they have this amazing idea, and then they don't know what you're saying to them. And so for someone to be able to have an idea and then use no code to try it out, it really will be a game changer. Wow, that's amazing.
Absolutely. And I see Greg is in here as well. And Greg, I know I've asked you so many questions since I came in that Hedera space, and I didn't even know what APIs were and so on. But Greg gave me an example. Okay, so if there's a company and that needs to have their metadata logged on the Hedera consensus service, you could build that very quickly with no code. And I say yes, and I've built it in 2 hours. I've built this little website with this chatbot popping up, and it says, okay, this is now going to be logged on the Hedera consensus service. You can click this link, you click it, and you see that that there's a new memo sent to the topic ID. Or another example that I created, it was part of my one-day concept on Hedera. So in the morning, I stood up and I thought, okay, I'm going to build this. And it was, imagine that you're calling a helpline or call center, say, I don't know, Amazon, and you have an issue, and you want to have proof that you've called. So what I did, I bought this phone number, and the moment that you call, it says, okay, we're now logging your metadata on the Hedera consensus service. And you can have your screen open, and you'll see that metadata will be logged, like of course hashed. But and then okay, this is your hash code and so on. So it could. It's just a quick concept that I finished at the end of the day. I got it entirely finished, even the website, and you could just show that to people. Look, this is my idea. I would like to develop that, for example, because no coding obviously has some challenges for scaling up. But you could build so quickly, and you can show people okay, this is the actual real life implementation of your idea. Or, hey, this is an example. You could do many more things, and then people get wild other creative ideas.
That's a lot of food for thought right there. And yeah. I agree with you that no code can take you so far, and then you still need to have developers. I don't think that no code will eliminate developers, or it's all together. But Greg, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
Yeah, sure. I love working with Milan. I've got a bit of reputation for putting proof of concepts together really quickly, and Rob is probably one of my biggest customers. But Milan's got me beat here. By the time I've considered how to build a proof of concept, Milan turns it around into something that actually works. So maybe I need to change how I go about doing things and start no coding myself.
Who knows? Oh, that's nice.
Please don't stop coding, Greg. Yes, Charles.
It sounds really similar to Unreal 5 blueprints. Is it? I don't know if anyone's familiar with like how does it work? Is visual coding, is it kind of somewhat similar?
Is that for Milan?
Yeah.
So I have no idea. So okay, I'm just looking at it. So I've just looked it up on the internet. So it really depends. Let me just quickly. Okay, so it's like text boxes and you draw lines. I mean, it looks more difficult. The no coding is actually okay. I have one block which is called the Telegram trigger, for example. So that Telegram trigger gets triggered when somebody sends a message. Okay, it's then the next step. What happens then? Send a message back, say hello. No, and then you've got your chatbot, right? So yes, it's similar. You've got a lot of different no coding platforms. You've got your enterprise grade, what Rob was mentioning with ServiceNow. But you've got the very easy ones like Zapier and Make.com. They're made in such a way that you really don't need any coding. And then you've got those in between like N8N that can get really complex. I mean, if I would show, maybe I'll do a screen share someday. If I show the visual representation of my coding of HBAR Vox, your mind will probably blow because it's there are lines everywhere. So yes, it could be something like that.
I knew the guy who developed the robocall, to identify if it's a robot or not, calling you on the phone. And he gave it away for free. And now, I think it's been 10 years or something. But I could see where your application of logging a call to a customer support line would be really valuable to both the customer and the company, because, so often there's no record of you calling and they say, but we don't have it. We don't have that on your account that you called and asked for this or that. So to be able to hold them accountable and for them to know that they're being held accountable, they would become more efficient just by knowing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I've mentioned it I've pinned the thread and I've mentioned it. It's called call.ledger.hedera.dev. And currently it's not working because testnet reset and I have to I have to build everything anew. But I'm really the call ledger. I mean, everybody can take that idea. I don't really mind because I just want to share the knowledge on this because that's really what I think will accelerate. Okay, how do you enable all those intrinsic motivated people to build? And now it's possible. Really, that's really my enthusiastic bit.
Yeah, Elizabeth, the thing that triggered that conversation with Milan about the chatbot was kind of the opposite of what you're suggesting, which is equally valid. And Jim may find some interest here. This was a company that does, chat support or builds chat support solutions, and have many customers in the medical or healthcare scene. And we were just iterating with them on the idea that they could bundle together the entire conversation, hash it, which creates a digital signature or digital thumbprint or fingerprint of that conversation and record it on HCS. The idea being that if the customer was to turn around in the future and claim that they were prescribed a kilogram of paracetamol a day or whatever, they could unpack the chat, they could unpack the contents of the chat and prove to a court of law that the medical advice they'd given was accurate and correct, or not. And that was the use case that got us to this conversation with Milan.
I can't see it happening on any other anything other than Hedera Hashgraph. I just don't know of any other, with the volume and the speed and the file storage and everything. I just don't see it being able to be on anything but Hedera.
Absolutely, and I have to give a big shout out to Matt Smithies. his solution. And it was actually Greg who pointed me to Matt Smithy's solution. It's called trust.enterprises. And you know, it seems like nobody is seeing it, but you know, you could just that's the easiest way to communicate with the Hedera network, to be able to create NFTs, to send NFTs. And you know, his project Inky's Art Club is using that same system, and it's so underrated. It's unbelievable that nobody is seeing that. That's really blows my mind.
It's okay. They'll see it in the right time and in the right place, and we just know what it is.
Yeah.
And that's why barbarians have, I think they're probably one of the most patient people in the world, because we actually know what the future holds because Mance and Lehman have laid it out at our feet, so we know what's coming. And that I've always thought that that's such a great advantage that Hedera has over other networks, because even though I don't know that much about Casper, but I like it, and Algorand is fine, but they haven't had the time that Mance and Lehman took to figure everything out before they even got to the place where they were going to start the company. Like, they spent 3 years figuring things out first, and then they spent 2 years formulating it, and we're also much better off for that, because we don't have to. You can innovate, Milan and Manu and Buck. All you builders can innovate, knowing that the hard problems have already been solved, and we have a layer 1 that is like no other, and that's the truth. I do want to do a little housekeeping and tell everybody, if they haven't heard yet, we're going to be doing a Hedera Community Convention, HederaCon, October 6th through 9th in Dallas, Texas. And I encourage everybody to go to the pinned tweet and sign up for interest. We'll have a really great schedule, and really looking forward to HederaCon. Mance and Lehman will attend, and there'll be booths, and it'll be a real convention. And I hope everybody can join us. I'm talking with Max Walker Williams about doing a live stream possibly, and it's going to just be a whole lot of fun. So please express your interest, so we get an idea of who's coming, and encourage people, your followers, to do the same thing. So I'll give a thank you for doing that. Binks is helping. We're going to have a planning committee. It'll be real fun. So I'd like to give Koala and Kabila and Rob a chance to say some parting thoughts. Rob, would you like to go first?
Yeah, thanks, Elizabeth. No parting thoughts other than everyone keep on building, keep up the energy, keep up the high spirits, and buy a Koala NFT when they come. In fact, buy them now. Buy them now on Zeus Market. They're there's some amazing art there.
You've been hanging out with Ant Middle too much. He says stay positive at every turn.
And his pure positivity, kind of in a single human being. It's amazing.
It's so great. Buck, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, Rob just had me laughing. Yeah, no. Just look out for our quality banter. We're going to get a space. We're trying to organize one with Rob and Ant to further, establish what we're doing, and so everyone's kind of on the same page in Hedera. But yeah, I mean, just like Rob said, go check out Zeus, get some koalas, and yeah.
I don't have a koala yet. I've got to take a look at that myself. So, Patches, did you want to say anything before we end the spaces? You've been quiet.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm just working on some hip conversations in the background.
Okay.
No, this is good. It's good to listen, and I always love hearing all the different developers that are creating cool stuff throughout the network. So I really appreciate Hello Future Buzz and putting on these events and spaces so we can hear and get updated in the community.
Thank you, Patches.
Yeah.
We'll keep working. You already had your snowboarding day. Now get back to work.
That would be.
How was it? Was it real cold?
Yeah, it was 1 degree in town, and then 10-mile-an-hour winds. So first run was pretty chilly, but then it started to warm up with the sun and everything. Got to a good warm 25 degrees at the end of the day.
Oh my goodness gracious. I'm a California girl, so I don't know. That scares me, that weather. Milan, would you like to say anything before we end the spaces?
Yes, really enjoyed it. As always, talking with like-minded people gives me a lot of energy, and now I can't sleep anymore. It's a 12:15. Thank you so much. I really enjoy with everyone, every person here, enjoying discovering, pioneering, developing. There's so much exciting stuff that's coming up. Feel free to reach out if you feel like, oh, I want to develop something, but I don't know how, and you would like to think about no coding. Feel free to reach out. I'm trying to set up maybe this smaller group of people that maybe get some, I don't know, more close coaching stuff like that. I'm always happy to help out. That's the conclusion. So feel free to reach out.
Well, thank you, Milan. We're very grateful that you're in our community for sure. And I want to thank HANGRY for coming, and Dead Pixels. We love you. And I see Batty Hattie and so many 𝓒𝓵𝓵𝓮𝓼 in the gallery and in the spaces. And I'm just so grateful that you all came. And we'll do this again next week, as always. And I'll end this space with hello, future. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Koala Klub. Thank you, HederaDev. Bye. Ending this space.